Hi, we're the Australia group, and today we are summarizing an article called Impoliteness, Jocular Mockery, and Jocular Abuse in Australian and British English by Michael Haugh and Haugh Bousfield. We're going to cover what exactly jocular mockery and abuse are, impoliteness, and the impact of the different forms.
So we're going to start with a quote by Leech that says, "Mock impoliteness is the exploitation of jocular or humorous insults or banter to display or create solidarity and refer to instances where a speaker says something which is obviously untrue and impolite in order to convey by implicature something which is true."
So by seeing this, we're saying that jocular mockery is insulting but not meaning offense. Jocular abuse, however, is when one speaker attributes bad characteristics to another speaker.
Jocular mockery and abuse both provide an environment for impolite behavior to be non-impolite, rather than politeness or impoliteness per se. So just because something isn't polite doesn't necessarily make it impolite either.
These evaluations come from a shared belief in their culture that places values on not taking yourself too seriously.
In Australia and Britain, joking and banter is treated as a politeness strategy, as well as understood as really being a means of conveying politeness and creating or affirming unity in a relationship.
So to characterize mockery as jocular rather than jocular abuse and aggression involves examining three different concepts. 1. What occasions are the jocular mockery in local context? 2. How is the mockery being used by the speaker? And 3. How is the mockery being interpreted by the recipient?
So responses to mockery that make it jocular include laughter, although laughter on the part of a recipient does not necessarily mean they're accepting it or going along with it, but usually it does. Agreeance or appreciation for the mockery, and partial repetition of the mocking remark.
There are three functions associated with mock impoliteness. First, reinforcing solidarity, which generally takes place between equals, typically friends, and is reciprocal on both parts. Second, compulsion. This involves the use of humor in some form, or trying to disguise the heavy intent. And the third and final function is just for the amusement of at least some of the participants. That usually involves pain for the target, but pleasure for the others.
So the existence of these multiple functions that Britta just mentioned of mock impoliteness is what primarily provides for slippage between evaluations of genuine impoliteness and mock impoliteness in interaction.
Data of this nature between jocular abuse and jocular mockery is challenging to collect, but for this article, the researchers collected 9 hours of recorded interactions between males from Australia and Britain. We will now look at a role play played by Tyler and Yang portraying two housemates who will be discussing something.
Yeah, so this guy at work, he's just messing around, flirting with all the chicks when he's supposed to be working. It's just bad work ethic is what it is.
Oh, horrible. Let's find out where he lives and threaten his life. Oh, there's one thing I
We
forgot.
should find out where he lives and threaten his life. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just realized what you were saying.
So, as you saw, in mocking Tyler's overdoing of complaining about the bartender, Yiping's reaction is open to evaluation as impolite because it involves a threat to Tyler's character, namely labeling him as someone who complains too much, which implies someone who takes himself too seriously.
Putting Tyler into a category which is negative is likely to be in conflict with how Tyler wants his personality to be seen. So again, could be evaluated as threatening to his character. This jocular mockery can be seen as well as threatening to the relationship between Tyler and Yiping, because maybe she doesn't want to be friends with someone like that. But it appears that Tyler is supportive of their relationship through repetition and laughter, two of our responses mentioned earlier that express appreciation and mockery.
So we also wanted to end with a statement that perhaps teaching students that mockery is not always insulting might be more socially advantageous than teaching them to only be polite. we thought that was pretty interesting, and we wanted to leave you with a quote by Cliff Goddard that says, "Lacking toughness was associated with a lack of financial independence and a subsequent overdependence on one's parents. Exhibiting toughness by not avoiding the ascription of bad feelings, either oneself or others, is highly valued in Australian interaction." And that is our summary.
That is our
from
summary.
Australia.